When the Jedi die, they have the potential to become Force ghosts. The way they accomplish this is through spiritual training. The exact method can differ, but we did see how Yoda attained this power, and by extension how Qui-Gon Jinn also learned this power, in the Clone Wars animated show. Yoda went on a spiritual journey toward the end of the Clone Wars that eventually led to the Wellspring of Life, a planet near the center of the galaxy that was the homeworld of the midichlorians. On the Wellspring of Life, Yoda met a group of Force priestesses that held a connection between the living Force and the cosmic Force, the two energy fields that made up the entirety of the Force as we know it. Yoda learned how to become a Force spirit from these priestesses, and it was implied that Qui-Gon did as well before he died. This is how Yoda and Qui-Gon learned to manifest their consciousness as a ghost in the real world, so that they could communicate with the living. Obi-Wan Kenobi also learned how to do this, but as far as we know, he did not visit the Force priestesses and likely learned this power through serious meditation as well as training from Qui-Gon's ghost on Tatooine. Additionally, Anakin Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, and Leia Organa all at some point learned how to manifest as Force ghosts too. Now, one thing to clarify is that all beings that die in Star Wars become one with the Force. The trick with this training is to learn how to come back from the cosmic Force as the Spirit. Furthermore, this is considered a light-sided Force ability, so dark side users would have extreme difficulty learning how to do this, or even be blocked from doing it at all. This is interesting when considering how Anakin came back as a Force ghost after he'd spent a quarter of his life as a Sith Lord. Regardless, dark side users generally don't come back as Force ghosts, but they can possess objects in an odd sort of way. They can imbue things with their essence or energy. An example of this is the mask of the Sith Lord Darth Momin. Darth Momin considered himself an artist, but his work generally involved death and destruction. He sculpted his own mask and transferred his own consciousness inside it before his death. During the Imperial era, Darth Momin's mask was recovered from the Bogan collection of the Jedi Temple by Palpatine. Anyone who then wore the mask was either able to converse with the consciousness of Darth Momin, like Palpatine did, or fall victim to the mask and come under its control, essentially becoming Darth Momin reborn in the body of whoever put on the mask. Several Imperial officers were made to wear the mask so that Darth Momin could construct Darth Vader's castle on Mustafar. Interestingly, in this case, Darth Momin was successful in resurrecting his physical body. While controlling others, he designed Darth Vader's castle to be so in tune with the dark side that it was able to open a portal directly to the dark side of the Force, where the physical form of Darth Momin returned and dueled Darth Vader. Of course, Momin lost, and the helmet was returned to storage. Another similar example is the mask of Exim Panchard, another Darksider. Panchard's mask held the screams of his victims, and anyone who wore it either fell to the dark side or went insane, or both. Such was the case for a woman named Kiza, a member of the Acolytes of the Beyond, which was a cult that worshipped the dark side. Kiza was gifted the mask by one of Palpatine's advisors, and was sent to do the bidding of the dark side. However, Panchard's mask took over Kiza, and attempted to use Kiza to bring Panchard back to life. To accomplish this, Panchard's spirit wanted Kiza to bring him to Exegol, a Sith planet, so that he may be reborn and rule the galaxy. Darth Atreus, another Sith Lord, had done something a little different, but was still a very similar concept. Darth Atreus used 2 crossguard lightsabers in battle, and had killed many people with them. In doing so, Atreus's lightsabers became seeped in the dark side, so much so that anyone who held the sabers felt the rage and pull to the dark side. Darth Atreus's spirit did not directly communicate with the living world, but his sabers intended to continue his work by infecting whoever held them. In a way, whoever held these crossguard lightsabers became overcome by the latent anger of Atreus imbued into these weapons. The last example we'll discuss is Darth Sidious. He essentially possessed clone bodies to continue his quest for immortality. His cabal of dark-side cultists on Exegol had been tasked with discovering the secret to immortality while Sidious ruled the galaxy. They had somewhat succeeded, but not in a manner acceptable to Sidious. These cultists had created clone bodies for Sidious to inhabit upon death. When Sidious dies, he transfers his essence into these clone bodies. But as they found out, when Sidious finally did take over a clone host body, it was not powerful enough to fully contain the essence of Darth Sidious. We see the effects of this in the movie Rise of Skywalker. In all of these cases, once the object that holds the Darksider's consciousness or essence, or whatever it is destroyed, that Darksider is gone for good. Darth Momin's mask was eventually destroyed, and he ceased to continue possessing people. Darth Vader had destroyed one of Darth Atrious's lightsabers, and Luke Skywalker had destroyed the other. Several years later, during the era of the New Republic, Luke Skywalker also destroyed Exum Panchard's mask. In all instances, the possession was severed, and the Sith inside them were no more. There is also the example of Darth Bane appearing before Yoda in the Clone Wars during his quest to the Wellspring of Life, but it has been left ambiguous if that actually was Darth Bane's spirit. It was said by the Lucasfilm story group that it may have been the Force priestesses conjuring that vision to Yoda. Furthermore, it has always seemed as if most cases of Sith possession are actually just false ghosts of the dark side. Like, that the entities possessing these objects aren't fully the Sith Lord, and it's just the dark side representing them. Like in the case of Exum Panchard's mask, it isn't actually them, and just a powerful dark side force kind of squatting in the object, waiting to corrupt more people. But that's not really a confirmed thing as far as I'm aware. I think it's just a theory or something that's been alluded to. If I'm wrong, please let me know. Otherwise, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching.